Hi, this is Asim.
This is Sujoy.
This is Amrita.
And you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast about the three main Khans of the Hindi film industry.
Amir,
Salman,
And Shara.
Hi, you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast regular feed. Thank you so much for your support over the years. We now have a Patreon channel with bonus content and exclusive merch for those of you who would like to support us. Every dollar goes towards creating more and better content. Visit us at patreon.com/Khandaan podcast.
Hi and welcome to a new episode of Khandaan podcast. My name is Asim Bernie and I'm joined with my lovely co-host Amrita and Sujoy. Hey Amrita, hey Sujoy.
Hey everybody.
Hello.
Amrita, you're not feeling well today.
I haven't been feeling well for a while. Like I've got some sort of super bug that refuses to go away. And so I'm going to sound a little bit off today. But hey, I'm still here.
I'm just caveating this because the movie that we have picked for this episode is not the reason why Amrita is sounding the way she's sounding.
Debatable.
I was just enjoying the visual of you watching today's pick, which is Veergati, which is my pick. I pushed this through. There's no way any of you...
Yeah, there was no discussion. There was Asim was like, we should record on Veergati. The end. Democracy went out the window.
So, reasons why I pick this. I feel on Patreon, our lovely, lovely Patreons have been asking us to do a few more action-heavy 90s movies, right? There's a few there. Somebody suggested we do a whole 90s series. We do an Ajay kind of series. And I think Veergati kind of falls in that category of movies that they want. And then the bigger category is the movie that I want. I feel I've watched enough 80s movies. I've watched enough Farooq Sheikh movies. I've watched Homebound. I feel I deserve a Veergati now. I feel I do.
But even if you chose to pick, you picked Veergati for us, you couldn't escape the presence of Saeed Jaffrey within this movie.
I did not remember that he would pop up in that little gully in his car in his suit. I was like, wait, he's here too? Again?
Yeah.
But Sujoy, you have never seen Veergati, right?
No, I haven't. I thought
I was
had.
shocked when you told me.
Yeah, I thought I had, but apparently not. I do remember the song "Tu Namkeen Hai, Tu Meethi Hai." Because
so random, right? Why do we remember these random songs?
No, because I remember that song. In the earlier days of DD or Doordarshan, there used to be a show called Ek Se Badkar Ek, which was the weekly countdown show. That song popped up as number 10 for a couple of weeks and then disappeared. It was one of those entries, and I remembered Atul Agnihotri in that half black and half white trousers dancing with the fires going around him. So that's my visual cue for Veergati. And also the shot in the climax of Salman holding the sword and the camera panning down from top to bottom as he flexes his muscles. That's ingrained in me, but I never got around to watching it until today. And yeah.
I will get to all of those shots, but before I want to just say, according to the law of optics, men should not wear such tight plaid pants that are half plaid and half leather. Yeah. The law of optics decide we should not do that. That is not a good look.
I mean, this entire movie is about the forbidden love of two twinks. So I don't know if that is true, Asim.
I'm actually trying to find a decent summary of this movie. I've gone to IMDb, I've gone to Wikipedia, and neither has a decent summary of this movie. It came out in 1995. Salman signed this after Hum Aapke Kaun. And I feel it's very much in his Karan Arjun kind of era of movies that he was into, right? And I also understand that this is a very palate cleanser to what Hum Aapke Kaun was. This is very different. Also, I have to say, YouTube has a very good print of this movie. Which I'd never seen this movie in such a good print. So if you have not seen it, go to Rockstar Soham's YouTube account, who's
Yeah.
uploaded this movie at least 7 times. So clearly he's as much of a fan as I am. And it's not available on any other streaming channel. So that's the only way that you can watch it. Amrita, what did you think of Veergati?
I can't remember. Like when Mehuna came out, did all the Salman bots go off about like how it was a cheap copy of Veergati?
मैं हूं ना no 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 no
I
not
No,
that
they
I know of.
didn't.
Not that I know
Because like this is basically like the proto Mehuna.
of.
This is Mehuna if it was like rapey from the 80s. You know,
This
like,
movie is so rapey. It's so
oh my
rapey.
god. This is the kind of movie where like when a man is doing chhed, his chhed is like he tells the boyfriend, like not even the girl, he tells the boyfriend to pimp his girlfriend out.
Guys, this is the only movie I had to mute the background soundtrack because I have
I
women in the
know.
house. Like, I was like, nothing is happening on screen, but the background score is so horrible that I have to
Yeah.
shut it down.
The background score is literally women crying because they're getting assaulted.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
and
Siskia.
like I was like the first time I heard it, I was like, what is happening? I literally thought there was an issue with
Hmm.
my video. I was
Yeah.
like, is something happening here? And then it was like, no,
No,
like it is
every time
just
Ikka Seth appears, that's the background
that's
score
the
we were going
background
for. Yeah,
score.
yeah.
Yeah, this movie is not for like people who
The
like
faint-hearted.
subtlety, like people who like, like
This is a fear factor challenge.
yes. It could be a fear factor challenge or a survivor challenge, like one of those two, like you are just on an island with this movie and you're just like, I don't understand what is happening here.
Guys,
Uh,
how many times do you think I've watched this movie?
oh, probably like 20.
Yeah. More, might be more, might be more in segments.
Who are you even asking?
So, Joy, man, what did you think for your first watch of Veergati?
It felt very disjointed. Like throughout the movie, I just felt like, you hear rumors of movies in the 80s and the 90s when they start shooting without a script and they just went along with it. They have a sort of a skeleton of the plot and they think that they want to achieve ABC, but then, shoot pe kuch na kuch ho jata hai, so they improvise. This very much felt like that kind of a movie whilst watching it. But I was constantly surprised by the choices this movie made because they were so unhinged. Like, and it is very evident that the writer director KK Singh is so misogynistic. Like, he hates all the women in this universe. All of the women are assaulted, killed, introduced, and then killed and insulted, and just, yeah, it's insane how much violence against women is happening in this movie. It's
so,
insane.
so this movie is set in what's that area called? Kamatipura?
Yeah,
Kamati? That's how it's pronounced,
yeah,
right?
it's the red light district of Mumbai.
Which also is where Gangubai was technically
Hmm.
shot, right? And I feel
Yeah,
this is a more realistic depiction of what that area is like than the sanitized poetic version that Sanjay Leela Bhansali ends up giving us. Yeah, no. So yeah, keep going. Like I want to hear your thoughts because once I start going, I think it's going to be just me talking about this
yeah.
for like 90 minutes. That's why I want to get your thoughts in first.
I don't know if I did enjoy it in a way. I would say I really appreciated like how beautifully shot it is. But at the same time, it's not backed by writing talent. It's very lackluster in that way. And also the drawing point for me to watch this movie is because of Salman Khan. And Salman Khan, throughout the drama of this movie, is not as good. He's pretty much playing the stoic character of what he plays in Karan Arjun as well. He's not, funny. He's not. He's more serious because he's grown up in this entire like very much impoverished and anath and bastard, haramzada. Everybody calls him haramzada. Even his hawaldar calls him a haramzada in this movie. But I think it's something that Amitabh Bachchan would have really excelled in, playing that very stoic, angry young man, because he's supposed to be constantly angry, but he just comes across as one note, which is very sad. Because I thought,
Well, I think that is also because Salman is too young to play that
mhm,
character like that.
yeah,
And this is like a pretty boy Salman era. About 10 years after this movie is when Salman was able to do that. Like he's able to do that deadpan thing in The
mhm,
Bunk, for instance, and he does it really well.
I think I'm gonna say, like, I think it's not necessarily the age of him, because I think he pulled this off in Love actually quite
mm,
really well too, which
Hmm.
is a very similar role. I think the direction is lacking,
yeah,
and I think there's two scenes in this movie where I was like, yeah, if this only had a better director, this would fly. Is one with every dialogue scene that has, because he
yeah,
is actually funny. He is actually funny in a
Mm.
very stoic way. That line where he says to
Shlok,
not to Shlok ki ma, Himani Shifuri, is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Rifat
like,
bhi,
yeah, इंसान सिर्फ दो बार नहाता है, like, पहले नहलाए दाई, फिर नहलाए चार भाई, इंसान जिंदगी में दो बार नहाता है. I love that. I think this is an amazing, but the way it's delivered, the way, also I think it's probably been dubbed afterwards, right?
yeah,
So that doesn't work. And the second scene is also the scene where he has a big poker battle with one of the guys,
mhm,
and that could have been like, because he's a card player, that's supposed to be what he is, right?
mhm,
But it never really comes into fruition once the big matchup is happening between him and Ikka's big player. um it's shot from afar, and there's no reason to shoot it that
yeah,
way. And then there's a whole sequence where Ikka says, nobody can beat me at cards, even God can't win against me. And that match never happens.
yeah,
Salman never plays Ikka sit. And it's like, those are the things where, this came out, and the similarities, you're mentioning Mehuna, there's a other, you can mention Zanjeer, you can mention Agnipati, there's a lot of movies but the movie I go to with this is Ghatak,
mhm,
um, which actually came out the next year, has much similar themes about one man taking on a whole army with
mhm,
his physicality. It even has one crazy lady that will come in the climax and then get killed in the street, right? So
mhm,
Ghatak has a lot of those things, right? But it doesn't have a Rajkumar Santoshi directing it.
yeah,
And that's where the movie is lacking, I feel.
yeah.
Um, and for
Because
me,
on a tragedy level, this man has faced everything, but I
mm,
still don't feel the heft of that tragedy.
yeah, like
It's very
even
paper thin in a way.
yeah, even those sequences where he's like asking Farida Jalal, ke, like she says, "Sleep in my lap," and
Mhm,
he asks her, "Wahan neend aati hai." Like,
mhm,
as a person, he's never had the comfort of his mom's lap. That's like a very affecting dialogue, right? Goes nowhere.
yeah,
Like at the end, where he's like in Himani, why am I
Yeah.
missing the name?
Shivpuris.
Himani Shivpuri's lap again, and he says, I'm gonna sleep for a very long time now. Please don't wake me up again. That could be like an Agnipath kind of sequence, but the direction is just not there,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So I think that's really where the problem lies, I feel.
Also, like he's supposed to be like the larger than lifeness of Ikaset just does not land in a way. He just at one point they are best of buddies, and he really looks up to Ajay for some reason. He
He
believes
just has a
everything.
man crush. Like, it's
Yeah,
like, I think this movie is about a man crush on Salman, and Akhilendra Mishra has the biggest man crush ever. Also, his first movie, like, weirdly, and
yeah.
Divya Datta's first like movie. Like,
Ah, okay.
yeah,
But
interesting.
then when does that switch happen that he becomes arch nemesis with Ajay? I don't get that. Like,
He has such love and faith in Ajay, that Ajay has such a he's such a straight arrow. He will never lie. He will
Hmm.
never lie to me. And when he realized that Ajay has lied to him, it breaks his heart in so many deep pieces. That's what it's basically the heartbreak of, ikka set, meri pehli mohabbat rifat bhi.
अधूरी रह गई रिफत
Yeah,
भी.
ikka set is like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that didn't land for me. So I
Yeah,
was like left confused. Oh, what is the straw that broke the camel's back that he's now
yeah,
switched, turned to this arch nemesis, and he's willing to kill everyone of his
yeah.
families and everything.
Because
So, yeah.
even that moment is because Salman is going to Farida Jalal's house to kind of like help her out because she's dying and things like that, and he knows that if he leaves town, Ikka Seth can just do whatever he wants to
Hmm.
his family and things like that. So it's the only reason he lies. But again, you only get that because you've watched the movie 30 times. Right? Like, there's no reason that you guys would ever get that. Like, I get that. Yeah, so this movie clearly a massive influence on me. I'm I was
Tell us
watching it and
why.
I'm,
Tell us why.
yeah, I will. Once I get going, I feel the way I feel about this movie is probably how white women feel about Greta Gerwig movies. Or there's the
You,
new one,
it
Emerald
makes you
Fennell.
feel it makes you feel seen, and your inner deepest fantasies are being played out on screen, Asim.
Mm.
Exactly, because there's a level of in my life where I have either dressed like Salman and Veergati or spent months looking for shirts similar to Salman and Veergati. Like, it is insane. I had my hair like him when I used to have hair for a moment, and like I'm an old school gym guy, right? Like, when we used to go to those bodybuilding gyms, we used to have like Ronnie Coleman's posters on there. We used to have Arnold's poster on there. But for Desi gym going men, we only had the last 20 minutes of Veergati. That was our motivational poster. That's what
Mm.
it was. Like, when there's a really nice interview. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I sent it to you. Was with fight director Ali Abbas Mughal, and he's talking about Bandhan,
Mhm.
how they were shooting this action sequence, and Salman he knew that you need to stab me in my leg, and then I will pull the knife out, and that's the shot that sold Bandhan.
Yeah,
And the shot in Veergati is the shot where he pulls out the knife from his
the
shoulder.
cassettes. Yeah.
Yeah, knife, he pulls it out from the shoulder, and it's shot from the back, so the bicep is coming out. And then the second one, look at the face of disgust that Amrita has. And the second one is when he picks up the sword,
The
and
sword.
then he
Yeah.
flexes his chest while he's doing it. And those were the two shots that sold the. So this was the kind of the first Salman movie where he had taken off his shirt. He'd done it in Karan Arjun, which literally came out the same year. So it's
I
not even that it was
mean,
before.
the promo poster for Maine Pyar Kiya is him
Yeah,
topless with the jeans
yeah.
and Bhagyashree on his teeth.
Yeah. But those are like sexy reasons. These are also sexy reasons, I would say, but these are like sexy reasons for a different demographic, I would
Yeah.
say. But this
This
was
is
like by
specifically for Asim.
yeah. No, this is not specifically for Asim. This is a very
No, yeah, this is an incredibly homoerotic
yeah,
movie. Like,
100%.
my God.
Yeah.
Like, the first song that we have in this film is literally Atul
Mhm.
dancing around Salman and doing like, and there's
And the
Atul has a
lyrics are
girlfriend who's like relegated to becoming a background dancer. Like, she has nothing to contribute to the entire thing. Meanwhile, Atul is just like, oh my God, you're so cute. Why are you so angry all the time?
Yeah. Call me brother, yaar. Please call me brother. Like, that's so. Everybody is in love with Salman, and also the way it is, like, Salman is peak male beauty at this time. Like, it is like the ultimate Salman. We have the hair, the chest, like everything is there, right? So, but I think it also just has a very it touches on something like Amrita was saying, it's homoerotic, but it is a very straight male fantasy, right? Like, I am the man. Once
Mhm.
I get pushed to a certain point, I will take on the world and I will save all women. I will save my family. I can do anything I want. Nothing can hurt me. Not not bullets in my back, not swords in my arm. I will conquer it all.
Hmm.
And it's a kind of a niche that not every actor has been able to fill this way. Even action stars, I don't think Akshay or Ajay have made a movie like this.
Yeah.
Something that hits you that deep. I think Salman does it.
Sunny does
Sunny
it.
Deol does it in Ghatak, for example.
Yeah.
And I would then maybe say, but it's a very different itch that it scratches. Maybe Animal, Ranveer's Animal, like that 20-minute sequence but there's no reason for that violence, right? Like
Hmm.
it's just like some like violence porn in a way. And now you have movies like Marco, and you have so many of these that are coming out. But at that time and that era, this itch of male fantasy, Veergati scratched like nobody else could scratch until Sunny Deol did it much better in Ghatak because he has a better director. But this movie is a straight male fantasy. There's nothing else to it. You mentioned Atul Agnihotri. He's a really bad actor. Like I forget. Like you forget sometimes. We talk about nepotism and people
I,
not getting chances, and
I think the sad part about Atul in this film is that, look, there are a lot of men, I mean, there are women too, but there are a lot of men who get chances to be in movies based on the fact that they are pretty,
hmm.
right? They don't have the acting talent, but you keep giving them chances because you're just like, hey, but at least you're pretty, right? Like you bring that. I think RGV was the most brutally frank about it when he was talking about Fardeen Khan. Like
Hmm.
he actually gave like an interview and he was like, yeah, like Fardeen Khan act, but he's pretty and I can use that, right?
Hmm.
And the sad thing about Atul in this film is he's not prettier than Salman. You know?
I have never seen a man wear so many suits in this movie, and all of the suits look terrible. Like, how did you find suits? Like, a suit is scientifically made to make a man enhance his beauty and his masculinity, except for Atul Agnihotri, clearly. Like, all of the suits look really terrible. It's like there's a sequence he becomes a millionaire, and Salman is like, you're very rich now," and he's like, "Wait, he's rich? Like with those suits? Like, like Saeed Jafri is rocking the suits better than Atul Agnihotri is."
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse
But
me.
yeah, he and Atul Agnihotri is just one of those guys that has actually like a pretty long career. Like he got a lot of chances. And I don't know any movie that he was even half decent in. I don't know
I
how he
mean,
had.
but he got it because of Salman.
Yeah. But that was after a while, right? Like I'm assuming that he married his sister a while later. Apparently, they met on this set, but which I'm not 100% sure. But like I saw this on IMDb.
I mostly
Uh,
remember him for the songs. Like there was a movie where I can't remember the movie somehow, but there was a song which he did with Sonali Bendre, obviously.
Mm.
Sambhala Hai Maine. Do you remember?
hmm.
Ah,
Naraz,
yeah, yeah.
Naraz. That was a big hit.
But I want to also bring back to a conversation we were having about, the actors now, like Varun and Janvi and stuff like that. We were talking about why they're not hitting as well, right? And I think Veergati is a good example of why that is, because they've never made a Veergati. There's a certain joy in watching a B grade, low budget action movie that at least I feel. I watch a lot of these. I'll watch stuff with Scott Atkins. I'll watch
Hmm.
stuff with what's his name, the Michael J. White. All of the guys from Ong Bak. Like I love these kind of things, and it hits a fan base that a lot of big movies do not hit, right? And they just used to churn them out. You could put like Shah Rukh's movies in this, like Ram Jane is very very much in this
Yeah.
same kind of uh, thing. And you pay your dues, you create a fan base, and then you can also kind of break through that with those bigger Yash Raj, or like the Bazigars and stuff like that, or Hum Aapke Hain Kaun in Salman's case.
This is
But
very
you
much in that genre of like Ajay Devgan used to do those platform and
Yeah,
Jigar and all of those movies.
yeah,
It's very much that. And Akshay
yeah,
did Suhag and all
yeah.
all sorts of movies. Akshay mostly collaborated, but Ajay did on his own, and obviously Sunny did. Sunny they also did like Salake most famously. And
Yeah, but these are like low budget movies that
mhm.
reach a certain audience and they love these kind of movies, and Varun doesn't have those. Ranveer doesn't have those, and I think that's like, that's what's really missing. The graft of doing 4 or 5 movies doesn't even matter if they work or they not work, but you're consistently working, hitting different bases. And I think Veergati is one of those examples. Like, this is a nothing movie. You never watched it. I'm sure Amrita never watched it. At least you had some idea of it, but you had watched it. But I
Oh,
was obsessed with it, like, and I know a lot of men, be it Salman Khan fans or not, they were like really into this movie for a lot of reasons, especially when you're a young kid, like what, 15, 16 years old. That very simplified, moralistic social drama that they're also saying, you kind of get that, you kind of feel that you're maybe, one against the world, or you're kind of finding your way within masculinity, and those beats hit. And at least it's not overfilled with toxicity from the male lead, right? And that's something that I feel is very kind of important. Like you were saying, Sujoy, maybe there's a very misogynistic view of the world, but the hero is not misogynistic. The
Yeah.
hero is still a good guy in this terrible world, which it's not something I can say about Animal, or I can say about any of these other movies that have, any Vanga movie, or a lot of even RGV movies, I would say. And I think at that point, even if it's the kind of a messy movie or anything like that, you can get something out of it as a 14, 15-year-old boy, which I did, and I would not say that I'm like a necessarily toxic male or anything like that. But,
no, I think you're onto something, Asim, because this is something that I've heard Shah Rukh say to other actors too.
yeah.
He says it to Alia Bhatt. Ranbir said the other day that he had said that to him as well. The way that Shah Rukh puts it is that you guys started doing too good work too early, too fast, But this is what he means, like you skipped over the messy part of the filmmaking business, which is where you find your audience that will stick with you through thick and thin. Because what these people that watched Veergati and like all of these movies in the 90s, like a movie like Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, people will watch no matter what. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like the whole family will show up, everybody will have a good time, blah, blah, blah. But the audience that you can turn out for something like Veergati, that is an audience that will stick with you, and that will give you that opening. And that is why even to this day, I mean, we keep complaining about like, oh, like Salman's movies are terrible now, like what is he doing, what is Shah Rukh doing, what is Amir doing, but they'll still get an opening because they have trained that audience to show up
Mhm.
for them,
mm,
you know and that is what a lot of these guys that we are talking about, Ranveer and Varun and everything, and this is something that I mentioned in one of our Patreon talks as well, that really bothers me, which is that everybody looked at Amir, and Amir sort of positioned himself as the evolved Bollywood actor, and this is how we should do it. We do one movie at a time. We spend all our time perfecting it. We do it like the method way, blah, blah. And I'm not saying he was wrong or that I think that that wasn't the right choice for him, but he made those choices after about 10, 15 years of slogging in the mines.
Yeah.
After making like Dil Hai Ki Manta Nahi and Dil and like all of those movies. These guys started off and immediately started trying to make moves that Amir was making post Lagan,
mm.
which is ridiculous. Um, and that is why, like Ranveer has like one movie or two movies go sideways, and everybody is just writing off his entire career. They're
Mm.
like, he doesn't have anything for him, like he's over, he's finished. Why? Because he doesn't have that audience that will show up for him
Yeah.
you know so you're absolutely on the money for that, I think.
I think the other thing that I also really like about this movie, I know we know it's not a movie that's well made necessarily in a direction point of view, but the graph of it in terms of the badass build up, the
Mhm.
idea of how badass this man is, that is quite well done, because this is a 2 hour, 50-minute movie. It's a very, very long movie. Even for somebody like me who's seen it many times, it felt long. Like there was so many societal problems in this movie
Yeah.
that Salman had to deal with, but you know from the moment Salman enters, he's a badass. But you only see it in the final fight where he completely unleashes
Mhm.
himself, right? And I will say one thing: this movie, we the person that uploaded this movie knows what the fan wants, because just before Salman takes off his shirt, there's a YouTube ad break that comes just before. So he knows what people are searching, you know.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Amrita, you were saying?
No, but also one of the things that I really appreciated about this movie, and again, we've had this conversation before, is the erosion of the moral center for movies in India,
Mm.
right? Um, I think at some point in the 2000s, they were just like, listen, we need to have more texture, we need to explore more gray shaded characters, blah blah blah. And honestly, I sort of trace this back to Shah Rukh, because Shah Rukh obviously made his career playing gray shaded characters. And he inspired a lot of people, both actors and behind the camera, to be like, oh, well, like that sounds cool. Like maybe we can do it. Except Shah Rukh has a moral clarity about the characters that he plays on screen, and that has never gone away. Even today, if you're seeing something like Fan, or if you're seeing something uh, I don't know, like name like Donkey or whatever, when he plays a character that is doing something wrong, there is always a consequence for his character in the film itself. And that consequence is always spelt out,
Mm-hmm.
and it is never presented as anything other than a direct consequence for whatever, like up shit that he did. um there is no like he's doing all these terrible things and therefore that makes him cool. That is something that the audience might perceive him as, because he's Shah Rukh and he makes everything look cool. But he never like plays that character like, say, how they played in Animal, where like,
Yeah.
look at this man, like, he does everything wrong, but he does it from like certainty, and therefore he's the alpha male. And Salman, to his credit, has never played it that way. Salman has always been like, like, here's my character and he stands for good.
Mm.
Like even in something like, say, Wanted or The
The
Bung,
bung.
right?
Mm-hmm.
um, at the end, he's the good guy.
Mm.
Like you see him in Wanted and you're thinking like, oh, he's a criminal. And then it turns out that he's not the criminal. He's actually the policeman.
Yeah.
And that is the only arc that is possible for a Salman Khan character. And he's built his career in that way.
And I think with Shah Rukh, it's interesting because there's always been that moralistic point of view of he's the good guy. And when that has shifted in recent cinema, where they still want to give him gray shades, but not have that moral center, it's not gone really well. And I would say two examples is one, weirdly, Dilwale. And then secondly, Jab Harry Met Sejal, where Shah Rukh was playing an utter asshole in both of these movies, but it was never really explained why that was. Dilwale doesn't, maybe after the climax his heart was broken or something like that. Jab Harry Met Sejal, and I think it's one of those clashes where because it's kind of a new age way of cinema. And not that Rohit Shetty is a new age, he's actually a very classic movie maker. I think he's just a confused filmmaker, especially in Dilwale.
I don't
When
think he understands. I think this both of those movies are a fundamental misunderstanding
Yes,
of the Shah Rukh mythos.
exactly. And they want to deconstruct that mythos.
Mm.
And I think that's where the problem lies, because they cannot do it. There was this interview recently, I don't know who was saying it. He was saying basically how we've messed up with Amitabh in Bollywood cinema. Basically, we lately only way we want to see him is this old bumbling man, like he can't go to the bathroom, he can't go to this, he can't do that. But when the South presents him, you have Kalki 98827, like he's the hero of the movie. You have Buddha Hoga Tera Baap, where he's an old man, he's still playing a badass, right? And or Sarkar, like South directors still see Amitabh the way we love Amitabh, and younger Hindi directors don't see him that way. They almost want to deconstruct him, and it's not been necessarily successful for Amitabh. I would say he plays a badass in Pink, and he's amazing in it, right? But he's a different kind of badass. And I think that's kind of that masala component that those old school directors had is definitely missing, and Rohit Shetty is definitely not the director that has it. I want to just pull out some key scenes from this
Mhm.
movie and kind of just go over them. So Salman's character, like this movie, like I was saying, this movie deals with a lot of societal ills, right? It deals with, I'm assuming, with casteism and with classism and like
Sex
corruption
trafficking.
of sex trafficking, corruption of
So much sex trafficking.
yeah, and like Tinu Anand shows up to be a sex trafficker, and
Mhm.
then Avtar Gill is also a
Yep.
sex trafficker. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this movie. So the movie basically starts with a baby being found in a gutter, right? Like kind
नहीं,
of a gutter.
कचरे का डब्बा.
Yeah, like a garbage dump, right?
Yeah.
And knowing the way this movie is shot, the budget, the skill, and the team behind it, they really put a baby there. Like
Yes.
there's no other way that you
Yes.
could. They really put a baby next to garbage water,
Mhm.
and I was
Not
like, oh my,
next to garbage water. Like it was clearly like lying on dirt. Like you
yeah,
could see there was like dirt on that baby. That
Yeah, it was
baby
probably like a
was.
caste matlab bacha. Like they just walked around asking the cast members, "Have you had a baby in the last 2 weeks?" And this, put that
Can,
baby in
can
there.
you lend us your baby to like throw on the garbage heap?
Yeah.
And it's such a classic scene too, because there's this baby that's on a garbage heap in the middle of a day,
Mhm.
and it is screaming its head off, and there's like a cast of like about, I don't know, 50 people standing around and going, ये कौन है? ये किसका बच्चा है? कमीना होगा, हरामी होगा. It's a baby. And then like Kulbhushan Kharbanda shows up and he's just like, I guess I'm gonna take that baby.
I love
and
the 90s trope of de-aging Kulbhushan Karpanda
I
is
was going, yeah.
basically black dye. Just Basmal, Lekia Kamal.
Yeah, it's really like when like 50, 60-year-old Pathan men get divorced and
Yeah.
then they want to remarry like a 18-year-old girl or something like that. That's what Kulbhushan looks like on their dating
It's funny
profile.
because I saw that on Instagram. Some guy
You
making
saw
a
that guy.
marriage
It is the
profile.
funniest thing. There's a guy, a Pakistani guy,
Uh,
that pings up dating profiles of Pakistani men and then roasts them. It is the most fun account to ever watch. It's
yeah,
hilarious. Yeah.
65, divorced 3 times.
Looking for an 18-year-old.
Yeah,
I will give pocket money.
yeah.
Like, what?
Learning
Yeah,
English still.
yeah. But the funny part is when I saw the same video. I saw exactly the video. I was gonna send it to you actually. But the thing is, so he comes in with baby Salman in his
Mhm.
arms. He stops, detours into Himani Shivpuri's brothel, who also has a child who is little Atul Agnihotri. Um, one gets Ganga Jal, the other doesn't get Ganga Jal for story.
Okay, can I just say, I have never heard of a baby being fed Ganga Jal.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask you, is this a thing? Because it's not good to be giving babies water like that. Like it's not a good idea. But
yeah.
does that? I don't know what
I
happens.
literally never heard of this ever.
Yeah.
Have you, Sujoy?
No, I don't think so. No.
I don't think I've ever heard, like Ganga Jal is something that you give people when they're dying. Like you don't give people Ganga Jal when they're born. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Maybe they had the ending of the movie and then they just retroactively put it in the start too,
Yeah.
then, or something like that. Yeah. So he comes after the brothel detour. He comes to his own house. He's married to Farida Jalal. Farida Jalal is ready to leave his
Yeah.
ass. Ready. Bags are packed. Cab is there. She's not listening to anything.
I
All
wrote
of the village comes on.
I wrote in my notes that marriage was never gonna work.
Farida was ready to go, man. She was, I'm not gonna say it, she's gone. And they basically tell her, and those same 50 people keep showing up everywhere. They're
Yeah.
there when the kid is being dropped. They're there when Farida leaves. They're also there when Avtar Gill has called the the cab, and then Rohini
When did Avtar Gill go and find the cab?
she like I'm saying, Farida was ready. That cab was called Uber. It's Avtar Uber Gill, basically.
Because the first thing that I learned that, it was Avtar Gill who got the cab was when Rohini Hattangadi says, I know where you got the cab for like 5 rupees. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, what does that mean?
And is that so bad? Like, also, like, is that like, are we mad about Avtar Gill earning 5 rupees because of that? I don't know. Everybody needs a side hustle in this economy.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't get it. Okay.
Yeah. So they grow up. By the way, way too many naked kids in this.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Oh my
weird.
God, yes.
like peepees and poo-poos, like left and right.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, what's going on here?
They just
Imagine
pull
you
out
were
his
that
pants
kid.
and he start peeing on the street.
Yeah. Like, for no reason.
Yep.
Within the same Atul Agnihotri is in love with Salman song, a kid takes off his pant, poo-poo, pee-pee, everything is happening. Like, why? These kids are now 30 years old and they have to like look at their, little pee-pee on screen every time Soham Rockstar uploads the Veergati video. And the print is getting better and better. When up to 4K, it's gonna be 16K in a few years.
So hum rockstar.
Oh,
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, Salman becomes kind of like a card shark, I guess, which is
Yeah.
also a really bad thing. I don't understand because he never actually plays. He's made a
he,
vow to
he plays his father
Yeah.
because
yeah
he's made a vow, and they play cards to decide who eats dinner that night.
4 rotis.
Mhm.
Why can't they split like 2 rotis each? Like four is a good number of
But
rotis.
also he like no, but Salman he's a jack. He's like jacked, right? So it's not protein enough for
Yeah.
him. That's
That's
the
why
reason.
the key point is he loses so that he can go to Shlok's mother, to
Yeah.
eat
Who
dinner.
always has food anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the whole setup of this gambling nonsense. Bichara, that's why Kulbarshan is just like, carb heavy, like pet niklawa, like that's why. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Salman is all jacked V shape because he's getting protein from Himani. Like this is not a good setup. Yeah. So just, that was just hilarious. The other hilarious part is also when he's finally playing cards with Chausa. Chausa. That's the guy's name. So he loses a crore to Salman, right? And Ikka Seth comes in and he's like, "Oh, Chausa, come here." And Chausa comes in with a hug. It's like,
Love me, daddy, love me.
like it's like you said this is homoerotic, but it's homoerotic on so many levels. It's just
Yeah.
Chausa was like full hopes and dreams, like Ikka Seth will hug me after he
He'll
lost the
kiss away my fears and tears.
And if you're talking about Chosa, there is another guy in the Toli, the Gundoki Toli called Abu Thikane.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mera century hona mangta hai. And he has this group of people cheering. When he gets caught doing the Thikana of this dead body that he's killed, of that Ikaset has killed, and he gets caught and he is in the Hawala and he's shouting from the Hawala saying that mujhe century puri karni hai. And this group of gunde is like, we want century, we want
We
You
want
want
century.
century?
We want century.
I was like, when that scene happened, I was like, who? Like, this cast has to be on drugs. Like, this entire film set was on drugs. There's no other way.
oh, dear.
It is one of those most. So the cop is played by Sudesh Beri.
Mhm.
Again, it's interesting. We had his. We watched Jani Dushman Ek Anokhi Kahani, and his stepbrother is in that from Vanch. Like Vanch is the only movie with Sudesh Berry that I kind of rate. Which I was going to recommend Vanch to people on the podcast because I think it's a very underseen movie. People don't know it, how amazing it is. And then I figure out that it's actually a remake of Mani Ratnam that I did not know. I found this out on. I was like, oh, clearly that's why it's a great movie because
Yeah.
they just ripped off the whole thing, and I should have
Wait,
known. Hmm?
Vanch is a remake of what movie?
It's an old one by Mani Ratnam. I
Uh-huh.
would not be able to tell you the names.
Okay,
Like,
I'll look it up. I'll look it
yeah.
up.
Agni
Um,
Natchathiram.
Oh, I did not know that they had made Agni Nakshatram in Hindi.
Yeah.
it's really good. It's really
Yeah,
good.
it
Yeah.
really
It's
in Tamil. It like yeah, like I've seen it like exactly once, and it
mm,
scarred me for life. Like I'm never gonna watch that again.
it's so good, and I should have known. There was this era where they were remaking South movies, and they thought, okay, we should not only rip off the movies, but we should also rip off how they lit the characters.
Mhm.
They had this backlight,
Yeah,
soft
yeah,
light
yeah.
over the
Mhm.
head thing,
It's very
and
much
Vansh,
evident in Veergati as well. Like it's very much
yeah,
the Santosh Sivan PC Sriram school of cinematography, and you can see like '95 you had Rangila and this, and
yeah,
it's very much lit in that same way. In how you see Kya Kare Kya Na Kare shot in the night,
yeah.
and like the street lights are on from a distance, and you see it's not exactly moonlight because moonlight will never be so high illumination, but it looks amazing on screen.
Yeah. Like I think it probably they took it from Roja. Roja was the one that
Mhm.
I kind of remember, and then like Gardish is
Mhm.
another one of those which is
Yeah.
very
We had
much
that in
influenced.
Talapati as well before that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Vansh, if you have not seen the original, I don't know the original, I'm assuming, but that's where I know Sudesh Berry from. And I think he was one of those guys that could have been something. Like this is
mhm.
the guy where we could say, he didn't have like nepotism backing him, because I think he's actually quite like good character. Like he gets at the final sequence, he's the one that shoots Salman for no apparent reason. There's no reason why he should be shooting Salman, but there's a lingering shot where he looks at his police gun and throws it away and walks away. So in a way he gets some sort of arc as a character, but it's completely downplayed because there's so many societal ills in this movie. You just cannot catch that it's also about the ineptitude of law. um yeah. But yeah, so Sujoy, any other sequence that you want to talk about before we start
Oh,
wrapping up?
oh my god. Oh my god. I thought how white everything was. Like the sari that Rohini Hattingadi was wearing, the hospital uniform that Salman was
Nirmal
wearing.
Safed.
Yeah, it was very much tight piece of Safedi and all of that. And the '90s college trope of having the most old fellows going to college and getting beaten up by Salman. That's also there. That's very much the Phool Aur Kante era of and Dil and Khilari era of movies. Um,
Can
there
I
is
also just say,
yeah,
I mentioned Akshay's kicks, that
hmm
how much I miss them,
yeah,
and I missed Salman kicks, high kicks even more
oh yeah,
because they're executed so perfectly.
hmm
Like you forget how Purtila Jawan Salman was,
yeah,
right? But man, those kicks are like beautiful. Like those spinning kicks he used to do, amazing. He's still very stretchy, as we've seen on sometimes on his Instagram feed, to our horror and shock, but. But when it used to work, when he was like fully covered, it was a thing of beauty. Like love those kicks that he
yeah,
used to do in college and in the subway fight. Amazing, amazing. Yeah,
yeah. Speaking of fights, the explosion stunts here are so
so big,
dangerous.
so big. The
yeah,
explosions are so big,
yeah,
like, and useless. Like there's the sequence where he's chasing
useless.
the police commissioner,
Yeah,
and he crashes the van for no reason.
yeah.
There's no reason for him to crash the van, but he then comes out like Terminator. I don't know. It was
I
maybe
think
just
the action set pieces were probably like the best thing about this movie, and
yeah,
I don't always feel that about Hindi action movies.
Yeah,
But Veergati, for it's a very competently made B movie. That's
yeah,
basically
yeah,
what it
it's
is.
very very B movie. And also like in the climax when the Shlok ki Ma gives that whole speech, Jalado in Kotyoko, then they
yeah,
start, letting them on fire. there are people still on the second floor that are running around, and people are setting fire to the ground floor. I was like, what the hell is happening? There's no regards for any health and safety on this set. I don't know how
I
many
mean, you
people died.
can't. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, like, where are all those women supposed to go? Like, yay, you're free, go home. How? Where?
Where? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. As Jal Gayi, like it's all like,
Yeah.
and then Atul Agnihotri is gonna build something there. You know what he's gonna build? I don't know. Is it gonna be like amusement park, a hotel resort? We don't know. But yeah, he became a bajillionaire very quickly.
Yeah.
And also it's so fun because it's like they have no concept of what rich people actually do. Like he shows a Wadi dekho, two white people, and then he has like some Nigerian sign a piece of paper, and I'm a millionaire now. Like that's
I love, love, love Bollywood business
yeah.
because it is always like this, like,
Singhania Sahab.
like Dhadkan is just like, Sunil Shetty going like, 5 रुपए से 5,000 करोड़ मैंने कैसे बनाए कैसे बनाए मैंने तुम्हारा चेहरा देख के बनाया like how bro how
हमें भी
5 साल में मैंने ये तक
सिखाओ.
किया
हमें भी सिखाओ,
like
yeah.
or like you're in Bazigar and is like मेरा ना textiles का business है like what
सब आ जाता है,
textiles का
सब आ
business
जाता है. या कुछ नहीं रहता.
Amrita, he was just selling digital products.
he was doing NFTs like before anyone
Drop
else.
shipping. He
Yeah.
drop shipped 1 crore,
Yeah. Finally, there is no good songs in this whole movie.
My God, yes.
This is
All
a
of them are
soundtrack.
so bad.
Yeah,
The
except
first
for
song though is very much Dinka Chika from Ready though.
yeah, I guess.
I mean, apart from the fact that it has like Dinka Chika, not really.
Yeah, the
That's
whole
the song.
Mati Mamta wala song is very much Yashoda Ka Nand Lala. That so almost
yeah.
sounds very similar to that. But Tu Namkeen Hai is sung by Adesh Srivastav and what's her name, Vijeta Pandit, his wife. Who we all know Vijeta Pandit from Love Story, but she's a playback singer here, and this is probably one of the earlier Adesh Srivastav soundtracks, and it's terrible.
This came out on Rajiv Rai's label though, through Murthy audio, like Vijusha. I think one of those like it was some like, and you can hear it in the synth drums. Yeah. This is it needed a Chal Naujawan Aage Chal, and that's a reference to Jagruti, the next movie I make you guys watch after this.
Yeah, I'll have to take a break before that happens. अगले साल करेंगे, अगले साल.
We need some good movies like Guddu, Zamana Divana.
Oh my god.
Mela.
Oh my god, I had to watch Zamana Divana with my sister and brother-in-law when I was little, and that was the most uncomfortable. I haven't felt more uncomfortable. Like Raja Hindustani, Mohra, and Zamana Divana.
Doesn't that also get unnecessarily sexy at weird times, Zamana Divana, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, lots of rain songs.
Yeah, I remember I didn't finish that movie. Like it's like with Guddu,
I don't think anyone has. I don't think anyone has finished
I
that
haven't
movie.
watched Guddu.
I do want to give a shout out to the two Qadir Khan dialogues in this movie. One was already the one I gave you, ke insaan do baar na aata hai. The second was, iski baat sunega jo do jamaat पढ़ के ताश की गड्डी को रखेल बना दिया.
Baap re baap. I think the Ikkaset intro line, I wrote it down. इन मोहल्लों में हमारी थूक से चिराग जलते हैं और बुझते भी हैं. It doesn't make sense, but it's a badass line.
Dude, it does make sense and it's terrible. It's horrible. He deserves to die in a very fiery death, So I think Salman finished it, in the right way. Thank you for indulging me, guys. I know this is not your bag, but I appreciated it, especially for the last few weeks I've been having. This brought me a lot of joy.
Mhm.
I will be eating less carbs, less roti, and doing more push-ups. Sujoy, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at 93K. And you can also follow Khandaan Podcast on all our socials at Khandaan Podcast. Do check out our YouTube channel, Khandaan Podcast, where we upload a lot of video content. Yeah, check it out.
Amrita?
I'm still on Twitter at Amrita IQ, but the best place to find me these days is our Patreon at patreon.com/Khandaan Podcast. That's where we hang out. I do these little videos that are little 5-minute catch ups where I talk about whatever is trending that week or whatever caught my interest. It's basically a little safe space for us to still have fun and talk about things that interest us. So join us on Patreon. If you're from India, you can get one of the annual subscriptions, and that comes at a discount and makes sure that Patreon will accept your membership.
Follow us on YouTube. I just saw the new episode that's going to drop very soon, and it's so much fun. It's about the movies to get you into Bollywood. I thought it was such a good episode that we had. So I think that one's coming out soon on our YouTube. So check that out. I'll also be dropping my letterbox video of every month, all of the stuff that I watch. That's not necessarily Bollywood, and that's kind of a Patreon exclusive thing too. People seem to enjoy it, which is fun. And drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com. We'll be back with a new episode soon.
Khandaan podcast founders at England.
To take out my podcast mic and everything, but it's like very nicely packed away, and I was just like, I can't do it today.
Because
Next
as a
time.
podcaster, that's what you should do.
Yes.
You should pack it away
It looks nice on the table on the other side.
in the packet.
Yeah.
It looks
Staring at you with that pop filter looking at you. Use me, use me.
Uh,
Yeah. Chalo.